Valued fan base, I hope you're well. I hope that your dreams are coming true. And I'm going to tell you about a book I read called Flesh by an author called David Szalay. I may have just murdered his name in cold blood, but what are you going to do? The book is awesome, by the way. One of the best books that I've read in a while. It's just brilliant. I'm not going to tell you any more than that. Just go and read it, for goodness sake. Please, read the book, for goodness sakes. Do what I'm asking. My gosh, life is short, and it's a good book. Don't make me beg. Then I went to a singles evening for people who had read this book, which is a thing that you can do in London. And I have to be honest, I didn't love it, the singles event. But that's probably because I'm a curmudgeon, and I just didn't, it reminded me too much of school. For example, the format of the evening was that about 30 single people or so met in a very lovely bookshop, and a small, would sit on tables of 4 or 5 people, and then every 10 minutes or so we'd move tables and you'd sit with another group of people and discuss the book. And it was, the first person I met, she kept interviewing herself, saying, did I like the book? Maybe. Am I going to finish the book? I don't know. And granted, most normal people would just let that go and, would have just had a nice conversation. But I can't. I find stuff like that annoying. Not that I let her know. I did my best to converse. But I'm just saying, that's, you know what? It's probably why I'm alone. I can't get past little things. And there was another man. It's always a man who's going to do the weird, creepy thing. He was a bit too into the sex scenes in the book for mine or anyone else's liking. And sort of at one point, as a joke, he was like, yeah, there's a great sex scene on page 20. And it just was weird. It sounded weird. It just reminded me a lot of school. That's really all I can say. And then on another table, the third table, this woman was sort of marshalling everyone and organising things. And I think she was kind of steamrolling people a little bit and persuading them to dislike the book because she didn't like it. And on every table, I was one of the only ones who liked the book. So I really had to feel that I was, doing a lot of work on the author's behalf. And by the way, everyone who didn't like the book was wrong. I do need to emphasize that. They were wrong. And some of their reasons for not liking it were really stupid. One guy said he didn't like it because there was no clear morality, which I just thought was the dumbest reason to not like a book. I think someone else was like, oh, there's not an emotional hook or something, or I didn't like the characters weren't likable. I'm like, yeah, that's all pedestrian. Come on, we can do better. Anyway, that is probably why I'm a keen contributor to the male loneliness epidemic. But I'm doing my best. I'm going to the book clubs. I'm just a man, blood, flesh and bone. And how about this park? Don't tell me that you don't love this park. If you haven't cycled in Richmond on a nice day, then really, what's this all about?